Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Here with another review in the Joe Nerd's Toy Room. Now, I'm attempting something fairly ambitious here, and I'm thinking I wanted to review these two together. We're looking at the terrible twosome of Trapjaw and Triclops. Ever since the Filmation, the very first Filmation episode that we were shown back when we were kids, the Diamond Ray of Disappearance, I remember for some reason, Filmation, they decided to team these two up in a, it was kind of like a distraction attempt at the Royal Palace. I remember these two were each flying a battle ram front portion, the jet portion, and they were teamed up as a distraction to distract He-Man while, it was while Skeletor snuck into the palace. But anyway, all of that aside, ever since then I've really liked the thought of these two being kind of an unofficial team. So, that besides the fact they are like two of my favorite evil warriors, period, ever made in the Masters line. So, but now, here in this video, of course, I'm dealing with the 2000X versions of the characters. Some of you may not be as familiar with them, because I do remember in my neck of the woods, back in Ontario, back in the day, Trapjaw was pretty readily available. It seemed that Mattel packed him in a few more cases, but Triclops was pretty much of a rare find back where I was living at the time. I don't know, your experience may vary, but anyway. So who to deal with first? I think what I'll do is I'll deal with Trapjaw first. So you've got Trapjaw. I'll just move Triclops off to the side a little bit. So Trapjaw, what the heck can I say? He's amazing. The Four Horsemen really, it's interesting. The Four Horsemen kind of went a little bit Frankenstein's monster with Trapjaw, and I don't mind. You probably tell he has like a stitched up wound right there on his pectoral, and incredible detail throughout, like his chest plate. I think you can notice right there, he's got damage sculpted into his chest plate, and some damage on his shoulder plate right here. I think you could tell it's like a real strong laser bolt or laser blast hit it. Yeah, man, what the hell else can I say? That this thing is amazing. And then you've got on the back, the armor is also, and this is a little something different. Instead of the armor just being limited to this side of the torso, it also carries on through to the other side of the torso as well. Then you've got even some techno detail on the top of his helmet that you can really see even through the back. And then the legs, this is another little different thing, is that the legs, as opposed to the vintage toy, the vintage and classics toy we're all very familiar with, Trapjaw, it appeared that only the bottom portions, only kind of like below the knee, was it robotic, and above that, or on top of that, it was more like organic. But as you can see here, the Four Horsemen kind of opted to make his legs entirely look to be robotic. So that's a little different too. And then speaking of differences, turning him more into robot, is even this hand. Really, I realize in the vintage toy, it was, you could tell it was sculpted to, kind of be intended to be a robotic hand, but this time the Four Horsemen, they really made it evident, really obvious that it is a robotic hand on this side as well. One interesting little thing about the packaging for this guy, it shows that the packaging shows that originally at some point Mattel intended this hand to have an action feature. Like, I think it was like you pull it back and then it springs back, like in a clawing. But that obviously was cut due to, whatever reasons. Money, of course. But anyway, now, this is the arm that Trapjaw is famous for. His robotic arm. And yeah, the Horseman really exaggerated it, really made it huge. And I don't mind that. It makes this Trapjaw very unique. It gives him, his own real unique flavor as opposed to the other versions of Trapjaw we've gotten. I find the arm, you can kind of tell that the Four Horsemen had recently been on their stint at McFarlane Toys, because I won't lie, I will admit that this arm looks like it's very reminiscent of what we used to see back in the 90s with Todd McFarlane Toys. But that aside, it still fits in really, really well with Trapjaw. That is not meant to be a knock on it in whatever way whatsoever. So anyway, the arm, besides the attachments at the front, at the end of it, which I'll get to, it also had an action feature, which was like a spring motion. So you hold it down, and it springs back up. So anyway, but I'll get to that. It doesn't make as much sense with the claw attachment, but don't worry. When I bring out the other two attachments, it makes a little more sense. So, and this is interesting too, is the claw was articulated. So the claw could actually, it was even articulated, So then, speaking of articulated joints, man, this review is taking a long time. So anyway, I'm not sure. I might have been a little too overambitious with my thoughts on reviewing these two together. I might split it up after all. So anyway, just a word of warning. So there we go. So then, speaking of articulated parts, we've got, as usual, Trapjaw's snapping jaw, and it really works well. I'm going to bring him in really close. I really should bring him in close so you could really appreciate the sculpting of his face. The face sculpt is really, really, really evil, really, really menacing. And I'll show the jaw function. So you pull it down and you let it go. You can even hear that. Yeah, it has a lot of force to it. I could imagine you could even get him to, if you had a small enough, like a bladed sword, he could probably even chomp down on the sword and hold it in his mouth, if it was small enough. So anyway, there. So now, other accessories that this fella comes with. So the claw. Just simply remove it. And yes, you can, if you choose to do so, you can loop it in to his belt, so he could just carry it alongside with him. Now, the other two accessories that this figure comes with is, of course, Trapjaw's trademark hook hand. So this, you just pop it in. This one has a little bit, these other two accessories have a bit of a lip on it, which really gives them more of a pop in but for some reason the claw doesn't have that, and I was never really sure why that is, but anyway, whatever. The claw kind of goes in and out of the arm a little easier than the other ones, but the other ones aren't hard. You just have to, pop it in. So anyway, there you go. So there you've got his hook. So like I was saying earlier, it makes a little more sense with the hook. When you do the action feature, hold it down and it gives us a nice slash with the hook. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So there you go. See, there you've got the hook hand. Pop that baby out of there. And I'm just gonna maybe leave this out for now. Realize this review is running long. Got a hell of a motor mouth today. It's really, really hard for me to shoot out a review quickly. Thank God I don't have to. So there, last accessory now is another staple of Trapjaw's arsenal, the laser cannon. This is more of a laser cannon. Actually, I should say, yeah, in the vintage days, I think it was more of like a laser gun. This really seems to be more of a laser cannon. It's really heavy duty looking. So then you pop that in, and man, there we go. It is awesome looking, I find. Really, really wicked. Really, you know, and yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it's a little bit on the long side, but what can you do? It's not too bad. Hey, it's Masters of the Universe. It's got to be wacky. It's got to be a little wacky, a little over the top. You know, that's what it's all about. So what I thought was really neat, this was something that I kind of came up with back in 2002-ish. With the action feature, I find the action feature in the arm, the spring arm, it even works pretty well with the laser cannon. Because in my mind, I had it as he would hold it out like so, and then, let's have him face where he's firing. So you hold it out like so, and then you can just imagine that after he fires, you've got the recoil. So you got the kind of cool, eh? Like, I really, really liked that. So you just imagine he's aiming, zeroing in on the heroic warrior, and you got the nice recoil after he takes his shot. So, yeah, that is about it, guys. So that is your look at Trapjaw from the 2000X line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to come right back with your video review of Triclops. So take care of yourselves, guys, and hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll talk to you all in the very, very near future. Bye for now.